This is how I configure view cart event on a Shopify store using the newer customer pixel section. First thing we have to do is to make sure that the customer pixel are active on the website. To do that, all you have to do is go to the settings on your Shopify backend and then scroll down to the customer event sections. This is where we are going to create a new customer event which will track all the events for the data layer. First, we have to add a custom pixel on this section. This custom pixel is going to create all the data layer events that we need for the view cart event. Let's name it anything that we want. I'm going to call it data layer and click on add pixels. Once the pixel has been added, make sure that these settings are accurate as possible. For the permission, make sure that it is set to not required, and for the data sale, select the third option, which is the does not qualify as the data sale, and then hit save. In the description of this video, you will find a code snippet that will create this view cart event. So copy that code snippet and paste it in the description box here. Paste the code in the code section and then hit save. The only thing we have to update on this code snippet is the Google Tag Manager container ID. You can see that I have added a placeholder here, and you can get the container ID from your Google Tag Manager. To get the container ID, all you have to do is go to the tagmanager.google.com and switch to your container. Just click on the container ID on the top and then select the ID. Go back to the Shopify backend and paste the ID right here and then hit save. Once the Google Tag Manager ID has been successfully saved, the next thing is to connect the pixel with our backend. If you're not going to connect the pixel with your Shopify store, all the code snippet that we have added will not going to be show up on the website. The next thing we have to do is go to the front end of the website to trigger the view cart event. You can directly go to the website and hit /cart page, or you can go to the browser directly and click on the cart button. Once you are on the cart page, hit inspect on your browser and then switch to the console tab. This is where you're going to see all the data event that will be firing through the customer checkout event. Let's go to the console. So now we can see that the page view event and the view cart event are firing, and this view cart event has an e-commerce object which contains the data layer array for the items, and it has all the information about the item which has been added to the cart. Since the data layer event for the view cart item is working fine, now we have to create a configuration tag as well as an event tag for Google Analytics 4. So let's go to our Google Tag Manager container to create those two tags. One will be firing on the page view event and the one will be firing on the view cart event. So let's create a page view event first. So for the trigger, we can either use a page view trigger or we can use all page view event. So on the configuration tab, let's go to Google Analytics and click on Google Tag. The only thing we need is a Ga4 measurement ID. To get the measurement ID, we can go back to our Google Analytics store and search for the measurement ID. Copy the measurement ID and go back to the Google Tag Manager container and paste the ID right here. Let's rename this tag to Ga4 configuration tag and hit save. Perfect. Now we have to create a new event which fires on the view cart event. For that, we have to create a new specific trigger which will only trigger on the view cart event. Let's rename this trigger to view_cart, and let's rename this trigger as custom event view_cart and hit save. For the tag type, we can select Google Analytics 4 event tag. And for the measurement ID, we can paste the same measurement ID we copied from Google Analytics. And for the event, we can type it as view_cart. And to send the enhanced e-commerce data, we have to check under more settings, send e-commerce data. Let's rename this tag to Ga4 view cart event and hit save. Unfortunately, we won't be able to test that event using the preview section, so we have to submit the changes first. Once the changes have been submitted, we have to go back to our Shopify store to verify if the events are working fine. On our Shopify store, just before testing, I'm going to add one more product in our store, so we have at least 2 items when we view the cart. So let's go back to the cart page by clicking on view cart button and let's inspect the page. Once we are going to inspect the page, this is where we are going to see the events that are firing for the view cart event. To verify if the events are working fine, there are 2 options for us. The first option is to use a data layer extension called adverse. What this data layer is going to do, it will show us all the events that are firing in front of the page. And the second option to verify the events is the network tab. Here we can see all the requests that are being sent. This event was for page view. This event would be for the view cart event, which we just created. We can see that it also has 1 product. You can also verify the same information from the console using the extension that I just mentioned. You can see that the view cart event has fired, and it has also sent the currency, the product details, as well as the value. You can also verify the same information by going into the real-time view of your Google Analytics. Here, we can see that the user has been visited the website and there was 1 view cart event been firing. You can see currency variable as well as the value parameter. However, on this real-time window, you won't be able to verify whether the items array is working fine. For that, we might have to do some additional debugging that is not covered in this video. If you want to see how we configure begin checkout event, click on this video right here.